Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Mandy. In today's video, we're going to talk about the building radicals. But there's quite a lot of building radicals, so let's do it step by step. So in today's video, we're gonna talk about these two, the rooftop and the cave. Now let's get the 田字格 ready and the pens ready. So today we are going to talk about two building related radical, and the first one, it looked like this. It's on the top. It kind of looked like a rooftop. A rooftop. So let's call it the rooftop radical, okay? And the second one, we also have a rooftop, but we have two more strokes here. It's also at the top. So this is the cave radical. For the rooftop radical, it focuses on the human being resident. And because it's human being resident, so it's also related to family or the human relationship. And also it could be focused on the closed area. As for the cave, because imagine you're living in a cave, it's not that fancy, right? So for the cave radical, it focuses on limited space, or it could be the hole in the room. So I'll give you more example of them. But first of all, let's take a look at the rooftop radical. Rooftop. The first example is家. Here is the evolution of this character,家. As you can see on the top is the rooftop, and at the bottom it's a pig. So which means a pig under the rooftop, and which make the family. So why it make family? Well, there's a theory. In ancient China, pig is the most important meat source for supporting the family. So which means you provide the food for the family. So, and 家 means family. We are quite familiar with this character. So here are some words. We can say回家. 回, it means go back. 家 is family or home. So 回家, which means go home, go back home. In Chinese, we have to say go back home. We don't literally say go home because we know the go in Chinese is 去. 去 means go. But usually the 去, you can go to other places, like go to your friend's house, go to the office, go to the supermarket. But when it comes to the home, you always go back because there's the bonding between you and your family. And more word with the 家, we can have 家人. So 家人, family, people. So that would make family member. Let's continue to the next example. A rooftop radical. and a female radical. That is an. So here we are very, very familiar with it. We've talked about it many, many times. And I also have a video about the female radicals. So if you haven't watched that, go watch it. This is the female radical. And a female under the rooftop. So this is a safe place. Let's get to some word. To say safe in Chinese, we say 安全. 安全 together, it means safe. Okay, let's get to some phrases. Let's say a safe place. Safe place. 安全的地方. The is an adjective marker. 地方 is the place. So, 安全的地方 safe place. Here's another word I would like to introduce to you. Also come with the an. An. Pai. So, an is safe. And pai, it could mean arrange. And an pai together, actually, it just means arrange. So think about it. If you're going to arrange something, you want to make it safe and sound, go smoothly. So an pai is arrange. And let me give you a sentence. 这是明天的安排 ，OK， 这是 This is 明天的 tomorrow's 安排 it could be arrange and arrangement. Okay, so 这是明天的安排 This is tomorrow's arrangement. Moving on to the next example. Rooftop. 1, 2. This is 宫 and here is the evolution of this character 宫 and you can see the square here, it represents the rooms. So the whole character's 宫, it means the building with many rooms. What kind of building have many rooms? Well, that's palace. So 宫 is a palace. In the ancient time, the king, the emperor, the ruler, they live in a fancy palace, right? That's the royal palace. So to say royal palace, we say 皇宫 Huang, it means emperor or royal. Gong is the palace. So the emperor palace, the royal palace is 皇宫. Also, I would like to introduce you a very famous palace. 故 宫. The gu, it could mean old time or ancient. The gong, it means palace. So the ancient palace, the name 故宫, it specifically refers to the Forbidden City in China. If you're going to visit Beijing, the Forbidden City, which is in Chinese, the 故宫, is definitely the great place to visit. And now you know the Chinese name for the Forbidden City. It's 故宫. Moving on to the next character, we have a rooftop and this. This is 堡. And let's take a look at the bottom part of the 堡. This is 玉, and 玉, it means jade. It's a very important symbol in Chinese culture. The jade represent good luck, fortune, and happiness. And here is the evolution of the characters 堡. As you can see, the ancient form of it. It has a rooftop on the top, and underneath there's jade, container for food and wine. And the bottom part, we have a shell radical. As we learned it from the shell radical video, the shell radical represents money. So under the rooftop, there's quite a lot of good stuff. We can have jade, container for food and wine, and money. So which means it's a very good word. And 宝 means treasure. Okay, so let's get to some words come with the 宝. We have 宝, 贝, 宝贝. So here we have the 贝 again, right? So 宝贝, it could mean baby or treasure or just something you cherish. Be careful. The 宝贝 means baby. It could refers to calling each other baby in a romantic relationship. Let's use 宝贝 in a sentence. 他的新车是他的宝贝. It's a pretty simple sentence. 他的 is his. 新 is new. 车 is car. We talk a lot about the car radical already. And 是 is 他的 his 宝贝 baby. And here it refers to something that somebody cherish. Okay? So together, 他的新车是他的宝贝. Literally, it means his new car is his baby. And, you know, which means his new car, he cherished a lot. Okay, now let's get to the real baby. The newborn baby. We would say that is a 宝. Bao. Okay, the 宝宝, it refers to the baby, the new born human being or animal. I just need to point out that the second 宝, it comes with the neutral tone. It just makes it easier to pronounce, just like the other words 妈妈、爸爸、哥哥、姐姐、弟弟. The second word is exactly the same as the first one, but it comes with the neutral tone. Let's continue with the next example. We have a rooftop and this. This is 室. And here is the evolution for the character 室. The meaning for the 室, it means room or space. Let's get to some word. Wo. 室. The wo means to lying down. The 室 is the room. So the room for you to lie down, it would be the bedroom. Yeah, actually we have another word for the bedroom that is 睡房, but we will talk about the 睡房 in the other building related radical because it also have a building related radical in the 房. Now let's continue with the 室. We have another room. Yu. 室. As you can see on the left side of the yu, we have a water radical. So it's related to the water. And the yu, it means to take a shower. The 室 is room. So 浴室, the shower room, would make bathroom. Let's continue with the 室. Ban. 宫. Ban, which means to take, to deal with. Gong is public, and 室 is the room. So the room to deal with public affair, and that would be office. And the last word for the 室. 地. 下. 室. We know that 地 is the floor, and 下 is a pretty simple word. It means the direction down. Is the opposite of 上. Okay, so 地下室 is the room. So we can have a very easy guess. The floor down room. The room that under the floor, under the ground, basement. Let's continue with the next one. The rooftop. And this is 客. Here is the evolution of the character 客. In the ancient form of the characters, it means somebody walk to my home. Since it's someone that walking to my home, so that would be my guest. So 客 is the guest. let's get to some word. 客人 the guest people. Guest people would be just the guests. 客人 okay? And the other one, it's kind of similar. 客户 okay, 客户 that would be the client. And we will talk about the who in the next video because it's also a building related radical. Okay, 客人 is just the guest in general, and 客户 is the client for the business. And the next word, 客厅 客厅 客 it means the guests. 厅 is the hall, and this part of the厅, it's also building related radical, and we are going to talk about in the next video. Yeah, right. So stay tuned for my next video about the building related radical. Anyway, so 客厅 is the guest hall, and it would make the living room. So 客厅 is the living room. And we have one last word for the 客. We can have 客气 客 is the guest. 气 is the air or the atmosphere. So the gas air, the gas atmosphere, which means to be polite as a guest. Okay, but this is not the word that we are very familiar with. Actually, we are very familiar with the negative form of it, and that would be 不客气 不客气 not to be so polite as a guest, and that would make you are welcome. Okay, now let's continue with the next example. 宽 宽 it means broad, and usually it refers to the road or a space. Broad. Let me give you a sentence. You can say 这条路很宽 Okay, 这 is this, and 条 is a measure word. It's the measure word for long things. And 路 is the road. So apparently a road is pretty long, right? So this measure word is very specific. 这条路, so this road 很 very 宽 broad. So together 这条路很宽 this road is very broad, very big or wide. And the broad is very physical. It's something you can see with your eyes. Now let's make it a little bit more abstract. We can have 宽 容 宽容 宽 means broad, and 容 it means to hold in, to contain. So it's very broad. You can hold in many different things. So 宽容 it could be tolerate or to forgive. Let's get to a sentence. 他有一颗宽容的心。Okay, let's see. 他 is he, 有 have, 一颗. So obviously we can see the 颗 is a measure word here. 颗 is the measure word for small, round thing. For example, it could refers to a pearl, diamond, candy, and in this sentence, it could also to describe a heart. I mean, yeah, the heart is not as small as the other example, but you know, a heart comparing to the whole body, the heart is pretty small, right? Okay, so that's about the 颗. And here's the keyword 宽容, tolerate, or forgive. The is the adjective marker as we mentioned before. 心 is the heart. So together, 他有一颗宽容的心. He has a forgive heart. So that would mean he has a heart of forgiveness. Let's continue. The next example. 富. Here is the evolution of the character 富. On the top, it's a rooftop, and at the bottom, it's a container for food and wine. So which means in the house, there is container for food and wine, and you are living a sufficient life. So the 富 could mean rich. Let's get to some example. 富人 富人 rich people. So very easy to understand, right? Rich people, 富人. And next one. 富足 富 is rich, and 足 is from the 足够, which means enough. So 富足 is rich and enough, and that's what it means. It means rich, and you always have enough things. So we can say 富足的生 活富足的生活 As we mentioned many times, the is the adjective marker. 生活 is life. So, 富足的生活 which means you're living an abundant life. And another word for abundant, also very commonly used, we can say 丰富丰富 it's also abundant. So usually 富足 it means abundant life, the lifestyle. And 丰富 is the abundant in general, or you have a lot of choices. It focuses on the diversity. Let me give you a sentence. 这个超市有丰富的商品 Okay, let's see. 这个 this one 超市 supermarket 有 have 丰富的 abundant 商品 is the product. The 商 itself, it could mean business, like 商人 businessman or businesswoman. And here we have 商品 is the business product. The whole sentence, 这个超市有丰富的商品. This supermarket have abundant product. And which means there are a lot of products in different categories. It focuses on the diversity. Let's go to the last word with the rooftop radical. A rooftop and this. This is 牢. If you have watched my animal radical videos, you definitely recognize this part is the ox. Okay, so interesting. We have a rooftop and an ox underneath. So which means ox under the rooftop? We just have a similar example at the beginning of this video, and that would be the家. We have a rooftop and a pig, and it turns out to be a very good word. It's family. So now let's go back to the Lao. We have a rooftop and an ox. So yeah, I'm guessing it might be something great too. But unfortunately, it's the opposite. Now let me show you the evolution of this character, Lao. Actually, the original version of it, it means the cattle in the fence. Ooh, it doesn't sound so great. And well, after thousands of years of evolution, and the Lao nowadays, it means jail. Imagine that, cattle living in the fence, that kind of means there's no freedom. And that's exactly the same as in jail. Well, let's get to some word with jail. Go to jail. 坐牢 Yeah. 坐 it means to sit. Because look at this. This character 坐 it has two people sitting on the ground, right? So that is to sit. And 牢 is jail. So to sit in the jail, yeah, that's go to jail. Instead of showing you a regular sentence with 坐牢, I prefer to introduce you a slogan with the 坐牢. It's a real slogan on the street in China, which look like this. So I covered the pinyin and English for you. Let's see how much you can read, okay? So it says, 不要打架，打输住院，打赢坐牢. And the literal meaning, 不要打架, which means do not fight. 打输住院, you beat and you lose, you go to hospital. 打赢坐牢, you beat and you win, you go to jail. And yeah, that's exactly the actual slogan hanging on the street in China, especially near the Bar Street area. So it makes so much sense. So be nice, be kind, be rational, don't be so emotional, and don't be so violent. Have a peaceful life. Let's continue with our second radical of today. It comes with the rooftop radical and adding two dots. And this is the cave radical. As we mentioned before at the beginning of this video, the difference between the rooftop and the cave is that the rooftop focuses on human being resident, family, human relationship, and close area. And as for the cave radical, it focuses on the limited space and hole in the room. So let's get to the cave radical. So in the ancient time, very, very ancient people live in the cave. But is there any people still live in a cave in modern days? Yeah. In the northwest part of China, we have a very special architecture and it's a cave. And this type of building is called yao. And the yao means cave. This type of Chinese traditional cave architecture, we name it yao dong. And yao means a cave, her dong means the hole. So yao dong, it refers to this specific type of architecture in the northwest part of China. Okay, so that's enough of the yao, and actually I would like to introduce you another word which is quite similar to this character. And that is jiao. And you can see the bottom part of it is quite similar, but not exactly the same. The jiao means a cellar. Speaking of cellar, so of course there's wine cellar, and we can say 酒. jiao. See, the 酒 means the wine, 窖 is the cellar. In the ancient time, a lot of wine cellars are built in the cave because the temperature in there is stable, so it's perfect for storing wine. Okay, so yao and jiao, it's not very practical words, but it's good to learn about it. Now let's get to some more practical words. The first one, wo. Wo, it could mean the home. Okay, why another home? Well, it's different from the jia we just mentioned about at the beginning of this video. The wo is the home of animal. And it could be the nest. For the jia, it emphasizes on the family and the place where human beings live, and it emphasizes on the relationship between family members. And as for the wo, it's just the home of animal. It's emphasized on the function. Let's get to some word. We can say go. Wo. Go is the dog. There is a animal radical on the left part of the go. Okay? And go wo is the dog home. And with the same logic, we can have mao wo. So mao is the cat. As you can see on the left side of it, it also shares the animal radical. Wo is the home. So mao wo is the cat home. And more example, same logic. Meow. Wo. And niao is the bird. Wo is the home. So the home of the bird would make the nest. And the next example, we can have feng. Wo. So you can see on the left side of the feng, we can have a insect radical. So obviously the feng have something to do with insects, and feng happens to be the bee. And wo is the home. So feng wo make it the home of the bee. So that would be the bee hive or honeycomb. Let's moving on to the next one. As we mentioned before, the cave radical have something to do with the hole in the room. And let's talk about the hole in the room. Chuang. Chuang is the window. The window is the hole of the room. That makes sense. And here is the evolution of the characters, chuang. Now let's get to some word come with the chuang. Let's say, open the window,开窗. Kai is open and 窗 is window. So 开窗, open the window. And the opposite of it, 关窗. Guan is to close. 窗 is the window. So 关窗, close the window. And let's get to the next one. 窗 连. So you can see the 连, we also have a cave radical on the top, right? And as for the bottom part of it, this one, this is 金. Actually, if you've watched my previous video, maybe you've seen it many times before. And the 金, it could mean flag, tower. Okay, so the tower under the cave, that would be the curtain. So 窗帘 make window curtain. Let's get to the next example. We have cave radical. This is 治. And just to remind you, a few minutes ago, we talked about a very similar characters, which is this one, 室. So can you see the similarity between them? And different from the 室, which means room and space, 治 is less comfortable. The 治, it means lack of air. So lack of air, that would be suffocate. So now you can see the logic of Chinese characters. So if you're under the rooftop, you can have some space and room. This is the place that you feel comfortable. But if you live under a cave, that's lack of space, and which could be lack of air, and that would suffocate you. Okay, so let's get to some real word. How do we say suffocate in Chinese? 窒息 窒息 It could mean suffocate, and it could be adjective, just suffocating. So let's get to some phrases. You can say 窒息的 的 关系 关系 is just relationship. It doesn't have to be the romantic relationship. It could be any relationship between friends, between families, just the relationship in general. Okay? So 窒息的关系, it's suffocating relationship, which is not healthy. I hope you never have this kind of relationship. Moving on to the next example, we have a cave on the top. And this is 穷, which means poor. Yeah, unfortunately. And here is the evolution of this character, 穷. And you can see this version of the 穷. It has a cave on top and a body at the bottom left. You bend. The meaning of the whole character means that there's not enough space for poor people to live, and the poor people need to bow themselves to other people to make money. In modern Chinese, we simplified the bottom part to the li, which means strength, and I think that also makes sense because for the poor people, we need to pull up a lot of strength to make a living. Okay, so now let's get to some word. 穷人 very easy word. Poor people. And 穷困, which is poor and difficult. And the next word, 贫穷. 贫, it means poor, and 穷 is also poor. It's just a very formal word for poor. For the 贫, if you have watched my last video about the ninth radical, 刀, you might remember we talked about this part. 分 means to separate or to split. And if you have watched my shell radical video, and you know the shell radical means money. It refers to money. So now this word could make sense. So you separate the money, you share the money, but unfortunately there's no money to be shared. So that's poor. Since we're speaking about the poor, let's compare it with its opposite, which we just mentioned about it in this video several minutes ago. It's the 富. Here is the comparison between two characters and the evolution between them. And you can see the 富, it represents under the rooftop, there's a container for food and wine, so you can live a sufficient life. And the poor is the opposite. There's no container for the food or wine. There's not enough food, but you have to bow yourself, bend your body to make a living. So the story is all in the hanzi. And let's get to the last example with the cave radical today. And that would be 窗. Here is the evolution of the character 窗. And the 窗 could means to go through. Let me give you a sentence. We can say 火车穿过隧道. Okay, so 火车 fire, car, make, train. 穿过 穿 is to go through. 过 means to pass, so go through and pass it. 隧道, both of them have the walking radical here. So it has something to do with walking, running, or road. And 隧道, it's the road. Well, to be more specific, it's the tunnel. So 火车穿过隧道, the train go through the tunnel. But wait a second, I think I know 穿 from the other topic. 穿 could be wear, to wear clothes. And yes, you are right. Imagine you are wearing clothes. It's like your body going through the clothes, right? Okay, so let's say to wear the clothes, we can say 穿衣服. 穿衣服, which means to wear clothes. And you can also wear shoes. 穿 鞋穿鞋 is to wear shoes. But you need to be careful. 穿 can be wear clothes or wear shoes, wear socks. But it cannot be the wear for accessories. If you want to say wear the accessories, we use the other words, which is 戴. This is the wear for accessories. I know it look quite complicated, right? So I will just try to write it again a little bit bigger. So first of all, you have this on top, and then you put a field, and then you put this is 贡, and then you go all the way from up to bottom, this, and the final dot. Okay? Let's wear some accessories. How about some necklace? So to wear necklace, we can say 戴 项 链 Okay, 戴 is to wear, 项 is the neck, 链 is the chain. 项链 neck chain would be the necklace. Okay? And as for the 链, I hope you already watched my metal radical videos. You can see here we have a metal radical. Because, you know, many necklaces are made of metal. They could be gold, they could be silver, and they're all metal. Let's say bracelets. We can say 戴 手 链 Okay? 戴 is to wear, 手 is the hand, 链 is the chain. So hand chain make the bracelet. 戴手链 would be wear the bracelets. The last word I would like to introduce to you today, let's be a little bit more abstract. 看 穿 看 we know that because obviously there is a eyes radical underneath, and 看 means to see. 穿 is to go through. Okay? See and go through, that would make see through. Let's get to a sentence. 我看穿了你的谎言 Okay, so let's see. 我 is I, 看穿了 see through, saw through 你的 your 谎言谎 is to lie 言 is speech right so 谎言 is just lie so 我看穿了你的谎言 I saw through your lie That's it for today's video. I hope you enjoy it and learned something from this video. And if you like this video, don't forget to like the video. If you want the practice sheet, you can download it from my website. I'll drop the link down below in the description box. And for the next video, we're going to continue with the building radicals. So stay tuned. I'll see you in the next video.